there. Here, there's some. How can you say for certain the case has nothing to do with Mr. Missing character? Ah, I see, sir. Should have said so earlier, sir. Yes, well, since you answered the question, it's a waste of time. Absolutely, sir. I'll answer to the fullest abilities. This is a surprising reason why Mr. and Mr. Garrett's domestic dispute can't be related to this case. But before I get to that, sir, just one thing. Yes? Very much like you and all your countrymen to understand the great British institution of Scotland Yard. So you help to take back some tales of us London bobbies, so how you uphold our guardian principles. I wasn't planning on going back just yet. I only just arrived here. So to that end, sir, I'd be happy to lend you my warrant card for your perusal. But I must warn you won't be able to get through it without shedding a few tears. Thank you. I'll try. Policemen will strive to preserve the peace within a allotted beat. Patrolling officer is expected to walk 20 miles around the beat every day for the furtherance of the community relations. Any crime falls under the jurisdiction of the beat in which they are discovered. When a crime is discovered on his beat, a policeman must assist in the initial investigation and help check it. Did he say it wasn't on his beat though? He said it wasn't on his beat, so like the closest one wasn't the right beat, so they had to go to a different one. Here. Some has gone down, or some had gone down already. How about Riley and I were strolling along, gazing at the night sky and looking for our lucky star? Oh, brother! Star that will guide us for eternal happiness. Can it guide you to the answer to the question? If a flaming book had cut across the sky in front of us, it would have lit up like a shooting star. And if I see a shooting star, I would have made a wish upon it. Let Raleigh be an inspector, I would have said, 3 times at least. But when you've seen the fire, like light coming from the fire inside their house? Of course. What was that smog and everything? We couldn't see any stars. In short, I was trying to say that neither a book nor a knife crossed the sky before. Yes, sir. That is correct, sir. As sure as the night sky, nothing started, sir. Then we saw the poor woman fall to the ground, so we ran straight over to help her. Hold it! Yes, you said that when you went to a nearby police box to fetch another officer, is that right? That's right, yes. If it had been on Raleigh's beat, I would have known exactly where I was going, of course. Don't feel bad, love. You can't be expected to know the location of every police box on the beat. So Raleigh told me the way, only I sort of got lost a little on the way. This is new information, but it should be good. That's why I love you. Your terrible sense of direction is bewitching to me. Oh, God. Oh, Ron. The closeout was gone for about 15 minutes. Like I said, while I was at the scene the whole time, I'm sure nothing was disturbed. I was off duty each time, but the true Bobby is never really off duty style. Okay, she had said earlier she came back and he was asleep. Like,
hold it!
Nothing to report. That's correct, so had my eyes wide open the entire time. Never looked away for a second. No one approached the scene and nothing was removed. I swear to that, Scott, on yards on her. Really? That seems a little strange. Beg your pardon, is that strange? Seems altogether regular to me. One copy of Lion Price was originally in a Gyarados house. So the question remains, how did it find its way into the hand of the victim? Do you shed any light on that? See it as you were at the scene of the crime the entire time? Aha! Maybe a different copy set. One just happened to be burnt as well. Even if that were possible, why would the victim have been gripping a book like that in her hand? As you can see from the photograph, she had a bag over her shoulder. Well, sir, the book was in the lady's hand from the moment we arrived at the scene. Is that so? Something about that statement was not sitting right. How the knife ended up in her back and how the book ended up in her hand. Must be a common thread between them. Any testament here was for born against intrusive matter. You really see this? Well, think about it. No matter how far it is across the road, or how the road was. Mr. Gyarados' book found its way to the scene of the crime sometime, didn't it? Right? Ties up, I'm sure. Right again. You use this crossing image to uncover more clues. The bottom of this one, right?
Hold it!
And therefore, anything thrown out the window from inside the room would simply strike the pane and fall to the street directly below. So clearly, now we can market the map. Here's the location where the objects would have fallen. Yes, directly opposite the scene of the crime on the other side was road by the water. Well, because it was impossible. Would that be so? How do you even know? Why would you have any idea what sort of windows Mr. and Mrs. Gyarados' house is furnished? Ah, well said. It's very simple. See, it helped with the investigation.
Excuse me!
Do you have something to add, Mrs. Beatty? Sorry? You look, well, delighted. Is there some particular reason for that? Oh, I was just remembering. That's all. We really were so lucky. Lucky? What do you mean? Well, of course, I feel terrible for the poor woman who was attacked by misunderstanding. But we were just so lucky it didn't happen on Raleigh's beat. It was so close, you see. Oh, I didn't realize. Yes, that's true. Briar Road. It's the boundary between Raleigh's Beat and Exeter. Isn't that right, my love? And he's dozing off again. Constable Beat. Oh, yes, that's right. That's the reason I was helping out with the interviewing the occupants of Garrett's household yesterday. The house is on my beat, you see, sir. That really was kind of close. Constable, I wonder if you could clarify something. The Garrett's household is on your beat. Does that mean that the pavement next to it as well? Outside of Garrett's house? Yes, I am. The pavement on that side of the road is best part of my beat. I see. I was unaware of that. Just think, if the woman had been attacked on the other side of the Briar Road, we would never have been able to go for that meal to celebrate our wedding anniversary. That's the life of a Bobby, after all. Extraordinary people are Bobby, tirelessly working for the benefit of all Londoners. You know what I think? I think it was good. I think it was good Lord's way of rewarding my Raleigh for all his work. Don't you think so, my darling? That must be it, Pat. That must be it. Perhaps we'll make sure we have that information officially on record. Leave it to me, Mr. Naruhodo. Take care of it, me. Pavement where the victim was found lies just outside Constable Beat's border, which runs down the middle of Briar Road. Can I ask you something, please, Mr. Lawyer, sir? Oh, yes, of course. What is it? You're doubting us, aren't you? I can tell. What? I wasn't really. I mean, what's she doing? Please, just because I'm a woman, it doesn't make my testimony any less valuable. You might just see me as the wife of a policeman, but I'm a woman of my word, I am. No excuses. I don't want to hear it. My voice will be heard. My lord, will you let me speak, won't you? Yes, Miss B. I will allow you to supplement your testimony if you so desire. Sometimes, the path of at least resistance is the safe one. Ben thinks a policeman's wife's word counts for nothing, does he? Watch out, sir. I might not let you get away with something like that, but my Raleigh. Duly noted, Miss Speedy. Please help me ask you to continue. What could she possibly be about to say, I wonder? Speak. Nobody's questioned what you've told us. I saw it, I did. That evening, I saw it. Little Easter man was just a funny curved back to sleep, looking away from the sea. And I know what I didn't see as well. I didn't see any flaming books or knives flying through the sky. so embarrassing, really. I ended up in the wrong place and I made arrangements to meet Raleigh.
What? Excuse me!
Constable B, is there a problem? No problem, sir. Did your wife's remark just now bring something to mind, perhaps? Oh, well, in a way, sir. Yes, sir. I was remembering that the same happened that evening is all. You mean Mrs. B lost her way on the night of the incident? Well, you see, I sent her off to find a police box the next week over from mine, which has gone a fair bit longer than what I was expecting. It's lucky to be back in 10 minutes. We're done. It was gone for a good 15. Also, because of the bouquet. Because it's a bouquet, silly. It's a bouquet. Sorry? What bouquet are you talking about? Oh, it's a present for our wedding anniversary. Raleigh's so romantic. He saved up for it with his farthings he had the bennies he found in the gutter while he was doing his rounds. Yes, how romantic. I'd forgotten all about it until just now. Had you, my darling? Oh yes, but that was just between us. Don't talking about to anyone else, darling. You have promised. Really? Oh. Uh-oh. They're hiding something. Kumbo looked very was troubled during that exchange. Got sure one thing. We have to ask Mr. Beat about the bouquet. Mr. Beat, that bouquet you just mentioned. I'd like you to add the details about it to your testimony, please. Oh, really? Yes, I'd love to. Okay, end up losing my way. Drop your bouquet.
Hold it!
Dropped a bouquet at the scene of the crime? Yes, that's right. I was so upset. When I went over and saw was a woman with a knife in her bag. I was so shocked, I dropped a bouquet Raleigh gave me. It was in a dark spot where the street lights weren't casting any light, so I didn't notice it first. Then, I went to the police box to report to the policeman whose beat it was on, right? Yes. I came back to the scene together with the other constables. That's when I spotted my bouquet again. What I think it was, when I went to pick it up, it was nowhere near the victim's body at all. Uh-oh. In case you need reminding, Miss Beat, the victim is not deceased. I was flustered for a moment before I heard a voice calling me from the other side of the road. Your husband, presumably? That's right. Silly me. I'd gone over to the wrong side of the street. So, I'm going to blame the bouquet this time. I can't think how it got there. I can't, really. Oh, to the opposite. Curious indeed. Isn't it? Where it says, I forgot to pick up the bouquet again and we left it at the scene. The bouquet rose Raleigh bought me was that chain from the gutter he spent so long collecting. By bouquet, do you perhaps mean this solitary rose? Oh, yes, that's it. That's the bouquet Raleigh bought me for our anniversary. It was old bits of change she found in the gutter. Tell us, Lord Van Six, where did you come by the flower? According to the report by the police officer in charge of the crime scene investigation, It was found on the edge of the pavement in front of the Gyarados household. In front of the Gyarados household? Although, it wasn't noticed until the morning as it lay where the street lamps cast no light. It was believed to be of no relevance to the case since it was found on the opposite side of the road therefore. Oh, thank you. Could I have it back now, please? No. I think for good measure, the road should be added to the court record as evidence. Oh. Further for Patricia from her husband Raleigh, the shock of seeing the stabbed victim caused Miss B to drop the rose where she stood. But it's a symbol of our love. I want it back after the trial. Do you hear me? I want it back. Okay, I think with this rose, we have a contradiction now. I think now, because he didn't take it out the crime scene for a moment, Seth. Nothing strange to report on that front. So she said she dropped it, like when it came across, like Olive's body, or Olive laying it on the ground with the rose.
Objection!
You claim, Constable Pete, there was nothing to report in the 15 minutes or so you were guarding the scene. But that cannot be. What? What do you mean to say? In your testimony just now, Mrs. B, you explained to the court that you arrived back at the scene of the crime scene with the policeman assigned to that beat. The bouquet you had dropped at the victim's side was no longer anywhere nearby.
Objection!
Yes, on the opposite side of Briar Road where the victim was attacked. But considering the size of the matched bouquet, if a single sorry bloom can be described. No doubt it was blown in the wind across the street, back to the gutter where it belongs. Me here?
Objection!
But if that were the case, why did Constable Pete not testify to that fact? No one else approached the scene, and nothing was removed from it. Constable Pete swore to that on Scotland Yard's honor. But the bouquet belonged to me. It had nothing to do with the case. That's why I didn't mention it, I'm sure. Yes, but if it was it was dropped onto the crime scene and then it was moved, that's significant. No, because sadly, it's not only your bouquet we're talking about here. More than one thing in this case is mysterious, the wrong way round. What are you talking about? Think about it. Besides Mr. Beat's bouquet, there's Mr. Garrett's book. Mr. Garrett's copy of The Lion's Pride, which was thrown out of the window by his wife, would have struck the pane of the casement window and laid it on the west side of the street. And yet, it was actually found on the opposite side of the road in the victim's hand. Meanwhile, according to the testimony we've heard, Mrs. B's bouquet should have been dropped here at the scene of the crime on the east side of the street. But in fact, it was actually found here on the opposite side of the road, in front of Mr. and Mrs. Garrett's house. There's no logical explanation for those things, unless somebody had deliberately moved them. What are you trying to say? The way you're talking, it sounds like you think my Raleigh's done something wrong. Yeah, he didn't do his job. Don't you listen to a word that scrawny lawyer says. Withering on about books and bouquets. Why should we care? It's nitpicking. That's what it is. Oh, good. Scared Ed's come around. You might call him nitpicking, Mrs. Garrett. Deliberate meddling with the scene of a crime is a criminal offense. It's called, tampering, Mr. Naruto. The person responsible for this tampering cannot admit to it. For a very subtle but compelling reason.
Objection!
Tampering. You've barely heard the term before. Tell us, my learned friend. Who possibly would have had cause to carry out such an elaborate deception? Yes, there is someone who tampering with the scene of the crime with an evening. All the evidence and testimony points to one particular person. Counsel, I must demand that you substantiate your conjecture. Who are you saying is responsible for tampering with the crime scene? It'd have to be one of these two, right? Okay, so it couldn't have really been him because he's combined to his chair, so it would most likely be Mrs. Garadeb. Okay, so basically what we're on right now is that the crime scene was tampered with while Mrs. Beatty was going to find the officer. So we're trying to point out who we think did. I think the only option here is Mrs. Garadeb. It's my only guess.
Take that!
No. So one person could have done this. Why would Raleigh tamper with it? Like, that doesn't make sense to me. Why would Raleigh do this? Raleigh was on guard, but why would Raleigh tamper with the scene? Whatever. He's the only person there. Come on. Why is it him? I want an explanation right now. Obviously, there's only one person it could have been. Constable Raleigh Beatty. It was you. What? A policeman? A member of Scotland Yard? What nonsense! Why would my Raleigh do something like that? Shut up, Lance. Shut up. It didn't make sense to me. It didn't make any sense to me as to why Raleigh would do it. Because from what Patricia said, Raleigh had fallen asleep when she got to him. When she got back. It's like I was like, okay, someone else could have come and done something. Yeah, it took her 15 minutes, but that doesn't change my point. Like he was alone there, yes. What? Enough time to tamper and fall asleep. I don't know, but still, why? Mrs. Beat, you said in your testimony that your husband asked you to go to a nearby police box to fetch the officer on duty. The 15 minutes that you're absent from the scene is the only opportunity anyone could have had to tamper with it. You're making it up. It's all nonsense. It's all lies. What about the Japanese man with the whiskers? I bet it was him. He did it.
Objection!
If that was true, Constable Beat would have seen him do it. Oh. And forgive me for pointing it out, but when you dropped your bouquet, Mrs. Beat, it was after the defendant had fled the scene. Well.
Objection!
First you make accusations about the landlord and his wife. Now you incriminate a policeman as well. But your accusations are one very important thing. You claim the crime scene was tampered with. There's only one reason anyone could commit such a reckless crime. To hide something. That's right. He's right. But my husband and I just happened to be there. That's all. Why would we have anything to hide? It doesn't make sense. offered no motive for this alleged tampering. I will tell you this. Your accusations are nothing but empty threats. Constable B, that's a very good reason for wanting to tamper with the scene. That's the key to this entire affair. Mr. Hardo, have you managed to solve this mystery? I have no idea. Counsel, you have made a very serious accusation against a London police officer. If you are mistaken, I'm sure I need not point out your reputation of lawyer with irrevocably damaged. You are mistaken. I'm sure I need not point out to you your reputation as a lawyer were irrevocably damaged. With that stark warning in mind, will you now explain to the court the motive of the alleged injury? Yes, madam. Remember what's the crimes they must hide?
Wait. Don't tell me. Don't you dare tell me he moved the body.
Wait. Did he seriously move the body? Okay, it kind of makes sense where if he moves the body across the road, it's no longer on his thing. So then he doesn't have to deal with it, so he can, like, not have to be a part of it. What? Cause where the book fell, we already know where the book fell. Where the book fell, we are not. What? Don't. What? Like, what? What? Where the victim fell to the ground. That is what Bobby had to cover up at all costs. Yeah, it would be on his clock. What? What? Where the victim fell? You mean where she was attacked? What are you talking about? We told you at the very start, didn't we? On the pavement of Briar Road. We saw it happen, remember? It's right here, if anyone didn't already know. It's certainly what everyone has been led to believe. But in fact, that isn't where the victim was stabbed at all. What? What? I'm beginning to wonder where this tumultuous trial will end, Counsel. If that's your assertion, then the court is dying to know, my Nippon's friend. Where are you proposing the crime actually took place that evening?
Take that!
But that's on the opposite side of the road. I don't understand. And look at Bobby, he's just like hunched over, he's like, oh no. The evening in question, scared as books fell down below the open window above. Your bouquet, Miss B, never moved at all. What did move was the scene of the crime itself. Good gracious!
Objection!
Perhaps you haven't been listening to the ample testimony the court has heard. But these witnesses both saw the moment the attack took place. That's right, I saw it with my own eyes. It was 5 o'clock in the evening, already dark. There was a typical London fog on the ground. We saw the incident unfold and ran to the victim's aid. It was actually on the west side of Briar Road. No, that's not true. It can't have been. Constable B then arranged for you to be absent for a while by sending you off for help. During the 15 minutes you were away, he transplanted the crime scene. all the things shown in the print. The victim herself, 4 books. He moved everything in fact, to the pavement on the east side of Briar Road. Extraordinary. The constable overlooked one thing. What? What did he overlook? The bouquet, I presume. Exactly. Prosecution told the court just a few minutes ago about the discovery of the rose bouquet. Lord Van Zeeks then said it wasn't noticed until the morning as it lay where the street lamps cast no light. Yes, it couldn't have been seen in the dark, obviously. Which is why it was only the bouquet that was found in its original position, the pavement on the west side of Briar Road. And that is the defense's theory about what really happened that evening. How do you respond? Constable Raleigh Beatty. Well, I'm very sorry. I didn't mean to nod off again, but I haven't slept properly in a month. And there's about him, he wanted to be able to get some sleep, but if the crime happened on his soil, like, he'd have to respond, and he couldn't get sleep. So that makes the most sense. Did I miss anything important? Oh, Raleigh. It isn't true, is it? What the lawyer said is all lies, isn't it? I know it is, because you're the most upstanding, righteous man I know. I had a dream. A terrible dream. All the things I did that night. Everything come out. Everything exposed. Only, it seems it wasn't a dream at all. Good golly! What on earth is the meaning of all this? Oh, Raleigh, why? Why would you do something like this? Moving a corpse is a criminal offense, isn't it? It's not a corpse, you idiot. Wishing the victim dead shouldn't be one, too. Constable, explain yourself. Why would you do this? As a respected member of Scotland Yard, your duty is to protect the good people of London Town. I can't say so. What? I'm really ever so sorry about all this. For damaging the Yard's reputation. For everything. I have a possible explanation. For why, on that particular evening, Constable Beat felt compelled to move the scene of the crime. I can think of one reason. What? How could you possibly know? You, a foreigner, presuming to understand the mind of a Scotland Yard policeman. And yet, Lord Van Zeeks, it is a foreigner who has uncovered the startling truths of the matter thus far. I believe it would be beneficial to the court to hear this extraordinary young lawyer's theory. Counsel for the defense, if you please. Yes, my lord. Now then, I think you had better show us some evidence. At once, my lord. England, Japan, makes no difference where you come from. Human emotions are the same. And I think I have a fairly good idea of the feelings behind this man's actions. When a crime is discovered on its place, operator must assist with initial investigations and help detectives. And if crimes fall under the jurisdiction in the beat, which are discovered. So, like, we know he's extremely tired.
Take that!
Realize that I'm a foreigner in this land, and I've only just arrived from Japan. Which is why all this information about London's so-called bobbies is completely new to me. I've learned that so honorable patrolling the beat is the most demanding work in the world, for example. Keeping the peace, looking after the citizens on his beat in all kinds of ways. There is no doubt that young Bobby is charged with a great deal to do every day, certainly. But for Constable Beat, the day in question was special. Special? How? On account of this bouquet, my lord. Okay, so I guess I could have presented the bouquet or the book. It's our very first wedding anniversary. Constable B has worked hard to be able to afford this simple gift for his wife, and was looking forward to taking her out on a celebratory meal. When he and Mr. Beatles, who he and Mrs. Beatty stumbled upon the crime scene along Briar Road. When he saw that shadowy figure through the fog collapse on a pavement ahead of them, it must have gone through the man's mind. But sir, so on that one particular day, I was looking forward to celebrating my wife's anniversary. Mrs. B puts up with a lot being married to Bobby like me. I wanted to show my dear wife how much I care. This is a warrant card that Constable Beatty offered to lend me earlier. Inside, among the rules for patrolling policemen, it says, when a crime is discovered on his beat, a policeman must assist with the initial investigations and help detectives. Aha! Constable Beatty. Is that, or is that not the reason why you moved the whole scene of the crime that day? Yes. Everything as you said is all right. So, that's it. It was all to do with the boundary of your beat. Oh. Exactly. To summarize, the incident actually occurred on Constable Beat's beat. Good gracious. Constable, do you realize the gravity of what you've done? It was the first time since I became a cop that I'd ever cursed God. Get close to me, Pat. The criminal could still be lurking somewhere. As we ran over to the scene, I had every intention of doing my duty as a police officer. We got to report the situation as quickly as possible. But then, it dawned on me. I realized where we were, where the victim was lying. And what that meant for me. When a crime is discovered on his beat, a policeman must assist on the initial investigation and help detectives. Why here? Why did this have to happen here? And why tonight, of all nights? Why? It's a copper's job to guard the scene of the crime. I told Pat she'd have to go to the nearest police box and fetch whatever was on duty there. It was then, when I opened my mouth to speak, it just came out. I couldn't believe the words that were coming out of my own mouth. This is the next beat to mine, Pat. So you'll have to go to the police box that covers it. Turn right along Meerschaum Street, and then... Oh my gosh, Raleigh! Raleigh, why? I, I'm, I'm sorry. I'm so sorry. Ah, Raleigh. I just wanted one night to take my Patricia out for dinner. Oh, Raleigh. Just that one night. You know that if the incident was on your beat, your evening of celebration would be ruined. And so you decided to move the entire crime scene outside your jurisdiction, just across the street, to the east pavement of Briarwood, which falls under the neighboring beat's care. Raleigh! You see, I thought, well, I was sure the victim was dead, you see. Beg your pardon? Oh, of course he did. Otherwise, my Raleigh would never have left the poor woman on the freezing cold pavement. Ah, I see your meaning now. God got me back for my sins, didn't he? That's why. That's why I missed the rose I brought back for Pat. Oh no, Raleigh. That was all my fault. Never should have dropped in such a dark place. Not the point, Patricia. I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry, Raleigh. Can you tell us, Constable? How many books did you move the others? One side of the road to the other in tow. The other in tow. Huh? Oh, four it was. Yes, sir. Definitely, four. Three of them dropped on Mr. Natsume, and the fourth would be the one that fell from the window upstairs in Gyarados' household, of course. But what made you place that book in the victim's hand? All the other books were scattered haphazardly around him. Oh, well, sir, that's because that's how I found it. Is it just as I thought? Did the book drop first? It hit her in the head. So she bent over, picked up, and then the knife came down and got her back, and she collapsed. I wonder if that's what happened. Either that, or the book was already on the ground, and she got hit, and so she just grabbed she knew the guy dropped drugs, so just grabbed a book that she could find. When we first ran over to the scene, the victim was already holding the book. So, when I moved everything, I made sure it was still in her hand. Sure it was this book? The Lion's Pride the victim was holding? Oh yes, sir. No doubt about it, sir. Interesting. I thought it was an open and shut case at the time, you see. There were only two people at the scene. Me and Pat both saw it happen. However which way you looked at it, it had to be the fellow who ran off who done it, I thought. I couldn't see the harm, really. I didn't think moving it out of the road would make a jot of difference. I suppose this is it for me now. I've had it. Ah, Raleigh! My lord. Yes, Lord Vansix. I believe that concludes the cross-examination of the witnesses. Constable, you may withdraw. Yes, sir. Mr. Prosecutor, sir? What will become of my colleague? What will happen to him? Stupid fly, get out of here. For now, you are free to go home. The police will contact you in due course. Please, don't punish my husband. This was all my fault. It's because I'm always moaning at him for coming home late. Leave it now, Pat. Let's go home. I'm tired. Alrighty then, my love. One last thing, Constable. Sir? Let this be a lesson to you. In criminal investigation, every detail matters, however insignificant it may seem to you. Yes, sir. Guard that lesson in your mind. And never again make the mistake of tampering with the scene of a crime. Never again, sir. You mean to say? Leave. Now, the trial is not yet over. Sir! Does this mean we can question the Garrett Epps now? Whoever thought of a third party transplanting the entire scene of the crime like that. Indeed, my lord. Nevertheless, there are some immutable facts here, principally. That the accused, Mr. Soseki Natsume, is the only person who could have possibly committed the crime.
Objection!
No. No, I disagree. Now that we know the true scene of the incident, there is someone else. Another person who could be responsible for the knife in the victim's back. Forgive me for being presumptuous, but I believe the prosecution is probably aware of this possibility already. She was not. There was no evidence of any ice. We're talking about the book and a knife. Lord Van Seeks, is this true? It's like, well, I didn't want to mention it. Very well. Name the person if you will. And if further investigation is warranted. The prosecution has no objection to the trial continuing. You are named the other person who could have perpetrated the crime.
Take that!
The defense would once again like to request a cross-examination of a new witness, my lord. Once again? My assistant made the same request earlier. In order to finally reveal the truth about this case. It is imperative that we cross-examine juror number 4, Miss Joan Garridan. Me? How dare you, me?
Objection!
The request has already been denied.
Objection!
But the situation is very different now. Mrs. Garridan, answer me this. What do you want now, you little toad? At the time of the incident, you were engaged in a violent argument with your husband, Mr. John Garridan. In this argument, a minor house fire was ignited. To clear the smoke of the room, your husband opened a window that looks out over Briar Run. Well, what of it? You threw this book at your husband when he was cornered with his back against the window. Upon striking the pane of the window, the top hinged case and window, the book plummeted directly down. Finding its way to what we now know to be the true scene of the incident. Yes, and as I said, what of it? During the argument, you were beside yourself with rage. As such, you threw not just books, but anything you could lay hands on. So, let me ask you one more time, Miss Garridan. This knife, the one removed from the victim's back, have you really never laid eyes on it before? don't recall it. Seriously? Am I supposed to remember everything I pick up and threw at my husband? And anyway, the man over there and all that regalia said, remember, the jury didn't need to testify, did he? Conveniently, yes.
Objection!
No, I have no recollection of saying that at all, juror number 4. Oh? Make no mistake, you jurors are not special in any way. You are not immune to the judicial process. If you know something about this knife, madame, let the truth come out. But that's a Commodore garden knife. It couldn't have come from anywhere. It could have come from anywhere. We have several like that at home. If one were missing, how would you expect me to know? What's that? Are you joking? What are you saying? Please, Miss Garrett. Now you listen to me. I refuse to believe all this nonsense. I couldn't bear the thought that I had injured someone. Do you hear me? I couldn't bear it. Poor woman. So, yes, I want evidence. I want to see hard evidence if you're going to insist on this being my fault. You're going to have to prove to me that I threw the knife, and that's what you said. How do I prove she threw it? Well, isn't our Hodo? If I had evidence like that, believe me, I would have thrown it at her already. Then take the stand, juror. Oh? The prosecution does not object to the defense's request to cross-examine this woman. He changed his mind! Hey! The tip broke? Yeah, the tip broke, but we believe that tip to be inside the olive green. That's where we believe it to be right now. I'm going to have to testify? Juror number 4. As I'm sure you appreciate having observed with your own eyes today. Witness testimony can lead to the most extraordinary truths being unearthed. Truths of which must be witnessed themselves. Truths of which the witnesses themselves may not even have been aware. How dearie me. So I demand your full and unadulterated testimony, Mrs. Garrett. And mark my words, in this court of law today, we shall extract the truth. Do you concur, counsels? Certainly, my lord. Oh, that's what I was hoping for, my lord. It's such a strange feeling. It's the first time since arriving in this country. It actually feels real. I'm here, the Old Bailey, and I'm a lawyer. Witness, state your name and occupation. Oh, yes, my name is John Garrett. And I'm, well, I'm a juror, and such like. She's still hiding it. It sounds like she didn't even know she's a housewife or a maid, or what's the deal. The court has decided your testimony is required in order to clarify matters in this case. Do you understand, madame? Yes, my lord. You will tell the court everything that took place in your household on the evening in question. And I warn you, do not attempt to hide the truth. Oh dearie me. Chin up, Joni. Nothing to worry about now. Oh, hi, John. Oh, I didn't know you were here, John. Where's the handprint? Wasn't only you in the room that day, old say, was it? Rather think I ought to testify as well, don't you? But what about your need here? Don't you worry about it. Hardly notice. Not that sort of chap to leave a comrade to face disciplinary action alone. Oh, John. I presume you were Mr. John Garrett. Yes, sir. Former 2nd Lieutenant of the 3rd Regiment of the 4th Northumberland Forces. See, my fair share of action now lived quite life as it was. Oh, he's wearing his medal, too. He's wearing his medal. That's quite life. A quiet life. Were you not engaged in incendiary battle with your spouse on the day in question? Well, yes. Quite. I believe this may represent a first in the proud history of the British court. Calling a juror to the witness stand is unprecedented. However, the court will hear your testimony now, juror number 4. That of your husband. You'll recount clearly and concisely the events in your home at the time of the incident in question. So, at once.